First, the USDA's Justice for All non-discriminatory statement, which simply states that all persons must be treated equally without regard to their race, color, national origin, sex, religious creed, disability, age, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity, and that our institution provides an inclusive space for all. For more information on the And Justice for All statement, please visit the USDA's website. Hi everyone, happy Monday. My name is Kami and I am a nutrition educator for Rutgers Cooperative Extension in the Department of Family and Community Health Sciences for New Jersey SNAP Ed. And thanks so much for joining us again for our third video on Let's Talk MyPlate, a video series dedicated to MyPlate and breaking it down piece by piece. This video, we're going to be talking about the protein food group. So let's get into it. So when we hear the word protein, we typically think of chicken or beef, but proteins are much more than that. They do so much for our bodies as they serve as the functional building blocks for bones, muscle, cartilage, skin, and blood. They are also building blocks for enzymes, hormones, and vitamins. Proteins are one of three nutrients that provide us with calories. The other two you probably know of as fat and carbohydrates. So the three create macronutrients, which provide us with calories. And like the other four groups on MyPlate, the protein group is very, very diverse. So what foods are in the protein food group? So all foods from seafood, meat, poultry, eggs, beans, peas, and lentils, and nuts and seeds and soy products are all considered protein food products. As we know from our other fruits and vegetables video about MyPlate 2 videos ago, beans, peas, and lentils are also part of the vegetable food group, so there's some overlap there. So with so many options in the protein group to select from, varying our protein food choices can provide our bodies with a range of nutrients that's designed to keep it functioning well. So that's super important. So speaking of making varied choices, it's also important to make sure when we're choosing our protein sources to choose lean or low-fat choices from the protein group. This is because some of the protein sources in the protein group that do not say lean or low fat are usually high in saturated fat and may have health implications. So let's break it down. Many foods like fatty cuts of beef, pork, lamb, hot dogs, bacon, sausages, other lunch meats, ground beef that is 75 to 85% lean, when we eat them, we're also eating saturated fat, which can then raise our bad cholesterol and lower the good cholesterol. Bad cholesterol is called LDL, and the good cholesterol is called HDL, which can lead to an increased risk of heart disease. So some foods in the group have high saturated fat levels. So to keep our blood cholesterol levels healthy, we want to make sure that we're limiting the amount of these foods in our diet and have leaner or low-fat protein sources instead. Speaking of protein sources, let's chat about MyPlate's recommendations and examples of how much we should be eating from the protein group daily. So most Americans actually eat enough protein every day, but we still need to make sure that we're making leaner and more varied choices of protein. So the amount of protein foods you eat every day should depend on your age, sex, and level of physical activity. But MyPlate and the USDA recommends daily protein amounts at 5.5 ounces every day. So what counts as an ounce of protein? In general, 1 ounce of meat, poultry, or fish, 1/4 cup of cooked beans, an egg, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, or half of an ounce of nuts or seeds can be considered as 1 ounce from the protein group. Let's wrap up with some takeaways that we learned from the protein group. So proteins are a big and busy group on MyPlate because they work to keep our bodies healthy, well-maintained, and in functioning order from the inside to out. With that in mind, we should aim to eat 5.5 ounces of protein a day. An example of an ounce of protein includes 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, or 1 ounce of meat, poultry, or fish. And when we're choosing protein sources, we should choose lean or low-fat protein to reduce the amount of saturated fat or bad cholesterol that we eat. Thanks so much for joining us this week. And next week, we will be chatting about our last but not least group on MyPlate, dairy. Thank you again.